Yeah, that wasn't
Keep us
recorded,
on,
was
keep
it?
us on schedule. Yeah. Okay, it is 10 o'clock. We will call this to order. Let's begin with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Wagner, Commissioner Stacy,
Here.
Commissioner Zoller.
Here.
And we need to sign the journal page. And then have a motion for acceptance of the minutes from the recording from the Tuesday, June 11th meeting.
I'll make a motion to accept the journal as outlined.
So I guess I'll second that. And roll call.
Commissioner Zoller,
Yes.
Commissioner Stacy,
Yes.
Commissioner Wagner.
Thank you. Duly signed. All right. First is old business.
Old business. We kind of touched on it a minute ago. Our auditor, Julie, is having a demonstration of the SSI software. She had presented it to the previous board last year, but she wants to get the elected officials and department heads back in to reevaluate the software and make sure that the elected officials and department heads have the buy-in, because the big departments, kind of like Job and Family Services, DD, and health department. Those are some of the big ones that use it a lot. So they're gonna be there to get an update on the software. We just happen to have a public hearing the day they scheduled that. It's next Tuesday, the 25th at 10 o'clock. If our hearing doesn't go late, maybe we can go over and catch it. She said once she gets the buy-in, she'll bring the presentation over to us. She's still working on the cost analysis, the cost savings for you. And she said she would bring that over, but she wanted to make sure she still had the buy-in from other departments. We had even had some letters from department heads at the time that I still have copies of last year, supporting this, that it would be a good asset for the county. Online payroll, you wouldn't have to run into town to do payroll. All their reports and vouchers and everything would be online, easy access. And
Things like these purchase orders we
Yep.
just signed, those would all be in there. I mean,
Yep.
it still has the approvals, but
Yes.
each person would be able to log in and do their approvals and.
And I think the way we talked about it before is, it's a like a checkoff system is the way I understand it. We would bring it up on our screen, and we would, same thing as we do pretty much now, check off would be your signature, and we're just gonna have to pass policy about the electronic portion, but
Right.
that's what she's doing on the 25th.
Yeah, if I recall, that was kind of the paperless part of the business. Also, Julie and I spoke about this, not only during the campaign, but early on within my term. And I've asked her to put together a cost analysis to it. There's advantages to a paperless society. It will allow us to take care of transactions quicker. We don't have to worry about running stuff back and forth. I guess there's a timely issue of getting things back and forth and getting bills paid, making discounts and so forth in certain criteria. So, and what I recall, there was somewhere around 40, 50,
Yeah.
$60,000. And I know, she'll bring a proposal, but
Right.
there can be some contribution from the other departments, especially the non-general revenue resonating departments.
Yes.
Well, that's a tongue twister. That can help contribute towards that, and she will bring that in her overall analysis of the program. But the first thing is, certainly we have to have buy-in from the vast majority of the county departments. And in addition, and probably the bigger issue as I see it, is there was some issues is her current software is becoming very outdated and very difficult to have it maintained and so forth and so on. So it just there's a multitude of issues that she's addressing, and the first thing is buy-in from all the different departments and so forth, and that's what this meeting's about.
Yep, and she was looking to putting specs together to put it out for bid. She got with a couple counties that just recently, I think last year, put it out for bid. And the cost, I mean, we've dealt with this at other buildings, you know, the cost of replacing absolutely everything, going to a new system is gonna be well more expensive than what just upgrading the current system is. So after doing some cost analysis on that, she's decided to just gear towards the upgrade, and they've offered her some discounts, and so I think that's the direction she'll go.
So we'll see how that
she'll-
all
Yep,
unfolds.
she'll be
Right.
bringing over the information after she gets it. So hopefully we can get over there to attend next Tuesday. So, I was gonna bring up the youth center, but, I don't need to worry about tearing it down.
Yeah, I think everybody was here for the work session, so we all heard that.
Yep, because after talking to Mark, he was suggesting a few things that we needed to do to the building.
Mark, is it
Zimmerman, yes. Because there's, and I spoke with him again the day I showed the building to the chaplain's corps about, because he said we'd have to do a asbestos abatement to tear it down. And he said the asbestos is contained and it's fine, and then unless you disturb it, you don't have to have it abated. So there's a cost we won't have to, because I wanted to make sure she wouldn't have to have a cost doing the asbestos, getting it out. But as long as she doesn't disturb the areas, then you're not required to remove it.
So it actually could potentially be a savings to the county by keeping the building there as long as it's being maintained and utilized for some purpose, versus the county tearing it down and have to spend some funds
Yeah,
to
we have some funds put into
abate
it,
the
yeah.
asbestos, yeah,
Yeah.
and for the demolition and so forth. So, I mean, I'm very supportive of that whole process. We need to, probably wouldn't hurt that we would at least have conversation with the prosecutor
Mm-hmm.
and see what can and cannot be done. I mean,
Yep.
and
I'll
and
probably
from
have
a
him draft
financial
up.
standpoint, because that's something that's gonna be fundamental for them. They're gonna, if we have to charge something as to what that's gonna be part of their pro forma, is that when they put their process together. So I would think we would need to find that out
Yep.
to help them
Yep.
ASAP on that.
I'll have him
She said
draft
she
up,
needs to know that, yeah.
yeah, something, and talk to Derek about it.
But as I mentioned in the work session, is I am very adamant that it would be a year-to-year lease, again, just so they stay within, because again, here we are, it's a county building and we're giving it to a private individual, even though that private individual provides services for the county.
Yeah,
We
Now,
gotta
would you
make sure
mind
that
if-
they stay within that focus.
right. Could we put an automatic renewal in? Say a 1-year automatic renewal, and then maybe probably give that, I would assume they would want a large, maybe a 90-day to try to move their.
Until they change to the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would be okay
That
with an
would be
automatic, but
automatic.
if all of a sudden they change their focus out there because they are a private entity,
Right,
if they change their focus, then I don't want to see utilizing a county facility for something that is not utilized by the residents of the county.
Right.
So, yeah, I would be okay with an automatic as long as we've got an out if we
Right.
deem
Yep.
that not within the scope of what we intended for it to be.
okay,
And yeah, certainly, there's gotta be some kind of clause during a 90-day, we can't just
Yep.
say, hey, tomorrow you gotta get out.
Yep.
And we have to be understanding of their concerns.
yeah, okay, I'll get with Derek and work on that. I spoke with Ron Burns, Holly brought up the look-back period resolution that we need to do.
Yes.
Ron and Julie Berger from Corporate One are working on that language for us, also
Okay.
working with John Crock to get our policy changed to address changing the 32 hours for full-time down to 30. Rereading the policy, which I'll check with John again, just to make sure. We have a section in our policy manual that basically shows the classifications, and so I know you mentioned that we wouldn't have had to change it for vacation or other accruals.
Right.
But in our policy manual, it's kind of, that classification falls for everything, so I don't know if we change the wording on that, or if it's really gonna affect our accruals,
Anything
so.
anyway, yeah.
But I will get with John on that one, but he is working on the resolutions for the look-back period for us. The 30 hours is just, that's something we will do. And I asked him about the time frame, and he said probably beginning of next month we'll get those passed.
Okay.
So I want to make sure we didn't have, you had asked about a deadline if we needed to have that passed a certain.
That measurement gives us something to go by, that if we determine someone next year is working once we're in the Affordable Care Act, and whether they qualify or don't qualify, we offer them insurance. And if we did not, and they're going, well, why didn't you? And we could say, well, because from the period we did our measuring, which is required by law, you know, at that point in time, they were working under 30 hours, and that's why we didn't, and it's, you know, rare, whatever. But it's a requirement to have that in order, otherwise we could be subject to more fees and fines if we haven't documented that. So, yep, yeah, exactly. So there it is. And we have to do it.
Yep.
So,
Let's see.
I think you had this
Oh, yeah, I have.
county cemetery?
Yes, Commissioner Zoller asked me to do some research on the gravestones at the county cemetery. I have worked with Nikki, did a lot of pulling and working with the health department, getting information on the individuals. We have 4 that were residents of Tiffin, and we have 1 that was a resident of Pleasant Township. So I have
There was
invoices.
7 altogether, was there not?
There were 6.
6.
There were 6. And so I have invoices ready. I do have a copy of Welly's quote. It was $200 for the stone and then $45 for installation. Checking with him, it's a stone, it's a natural stone, so there's no recycled content to it. So this would be, you know, $245 would come out of.
How about the concrete? Is that considered recyclable?
According to Welly's, he put that all as in a whole.
Yeah.
His quote was all in one quote. The $45 was just the installation, so,
It's probably not big.
Oh, not specifically for the foundation.
Right.
It's just, that's just the cost of installation.
yeah.
Well,
So,
that probably won't be able to go through that.
Probably not a big enough job to, I mean, I'm not an expertise on concrete, but I'm guessing, you know, where they can sometimes maybe put some stuff in it, but it's probably so small.
Yeah, but
you
no,
know,
no, I guess the
to
concern
make
was that
anything recyclable.
concrete would be considered recyclable, which we could go through OSS
right,
for it.
Yeah.
Because we still want to look into that to be able to help the, that Eagle Scout.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're obligated by law to make sure this grave gets marked anyway, so we're
Yeah.
gonna have to do it, but it's not looking like we're gonna be able to use
Yeah.
the OSS money for recyclable things, but,
I mean, in my mind, we have 2 issues. One, we have responsibility to maintain the cemetery in the level that it has been for 100 years, and that would be to get these 6 stones replaced, and as you said, 4 of those are within the city, so you're sending an invoice to the city to take care of that. One is in Pleasant Township, we take care of that, and the other one we need to be responsible for. So that's one separate issue. Then the other one is the Eagle Scouts that we're trying to make the necessary improvements, because there's other ones that are broken and
Yeah.
the poor foundation and so forth out there. That if we can,
Yeah.
you know,
He-
help them and get some recycle money out there, that would help. That doesn't come out of the county and so forth.
And he was up early last week, talking to Tanya again about what exactly he needed, and she had told him that, you know, basically you need a letter from, because I mean, I know nothing about concrete or stone, so she was clear saying, okay, this is what we got from the asphalt company. If they can verify and they send us a letter, then we can help with that, and if not, so. She gave him that information again last week, so he's still working on that.
Totally separate though
Yeah,
from
yeah.
this, okay.
So,
so at this point, we'll provide the invoices you have to Pleasant Township and to the city of Tiffin.
yep,
But they can accept that or find their own means, because they're obligated to market like we are, and we can emphasize, you know, we're going this route for the one for our responsibilities, because we want them uniform and we know this works. I would think they'd appreciate the fact that the homework is done for them.
right,
But I guess if they have other means of ways they want to do it, that's up to them, but we won't be able to force them to do that way. But-
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So we're not talking about our responsibility for the one yet. Let's wait to see
What they're gonna do,
What
yeah.
they're gonna do, yeah.
I'll wait to order anything until I hear back if they wanna put it all in one order. And, you know, this will be, and I'll include a little letter in here saying, you know, we're more than welcome to do the work, get Wellies in to do it. So
Yeah. Unless they want to go about it
I'll
themselves.
send those out today, and I'll attach the Ohio Revised Code with it, and that way they have something to reference if they wanna look it up. So, okay.
Anything else from business?
And I think this'll, no, the next one will be new business, so I'll hold on to that.
Okay. Nikki, did you have anything for new business? Fred?
The only old business is just to make it public from the commissioner's office here. We had our coalition meeting last Friday, and it was attended very, very, very well by the various counties and engineers and by the director of the Turnpike Commission, Mike Stormer, what's he, District 2, District 3?
He's a highway engineer with
ODOT, yeah, but is that District 2?
District 2.
District 2. They've given us, outlined some plans and so forth, so there's further work that's going behind the scenes that, of trying to work towards the track program.
Yeah, that really was the advice that I got out of it, that, that at the
So
meeting,
there's
they
various
emphasized
options that we can
gear for that,
go.
go through the process.
Yeah, various options that we can go towards. The thing that I was the most encouraged about is right now they're saying that, right now when you hear track, Seneca County does not fare well. And in track 1, which is projects that are ready to go forward, there's roughly about, what they say, about 1.8 billion is they've got that are projects that have been approved. And if this turnpike money goes through, that can basically wipe off everything that's already on track, the track 1 process. So that's the problem is we,
Tier
in
1.
the past tier one. In
Tier
the
one.
past, if we would get on track, you know, we fall down on the list. Well, with this turnpike money, hopefully this will wipe out everything that's already on the track. So then our issue would be to get on track, and then we can be on the top of the new list type thing. It's a long, long process, but again, when does tomorrow start? But today.
Yeah, there's 3 tiers to their system already with several projects under each.
Yeah.
And they, you know,
But
kind of go through
something
the process
doesn't
to
get
get
done
them.
until it's in tier 1.
Right, exactly. Right.
That's when money gets spent.
But you gotta get through the,
Yeah, so I, even though I'm somewhat discouraged that it's gonna take some time, but it still can come to fruition, and part of this turnpike money can help wipe out everything in the tier 1 process right now. So it's our job is to
they're hoping.
focus on this and to get on the track process so that we can be moved to tier 1 after everything in tier 1's moved off over the next couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's-
Well, it will
that was
probably
my
end up, it will probably
interpretation.
end up entering at tier 3 or tier 2. I'm, you know, because
Well,
we'll have to
that's
do the
what-
environmental
yeah.
work and
Yeah,
that'd
that's
be
what
part of
we're
that.
working on, is to try to position us so we can move up the ladder as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
But that's a bureaucratic thing that we're working with behind the scenes there.
Anything else, old business? Okay, then I guess we'll move to new business.
Let's see. I have bill vouchers 69 through 77. I have a supplement to the permanent appropriation to the 2012 County Road Resurfacing Fund 201 for 2013, putting $119,378 into pavement resurfacing. I have a resolution authorizing an appropriation adjustment within the Community Development Block Grant FY11 Fund 196, moving $84.86 from advertising to PERS. I have a supplement to the permanent appropriation to the general fund for 2013, moving $43,776.52 into salaries, $634.77 into Medicare, $6,653.41 into PERS, for a total of $51,000 $64.70. This is from Common Pleas 1. What they had agreed to do a few years ago when the commissioners were looking to cut budgets 5%, they had offered, instead of cutting their budget, they would just pull money from their special projects fund to give it to the general fund to cover the magistrate's salary. They are allowed to do that in their special projects fund. So this money is coming from their special projects fund. It's not, it's a wash. It's coming into the general fund for that purpose. So that was something that commissioners agreed to do, as long as they agreed to fund it. I have an appropriation adjustment within the maintenance and repair fund, 020, moving $70,000 from contract projects. They have two different contract projects line. One's a road, and I think one's a bridges. It doesn't have the difference down here. It's 042 and 041. $70,000 to the other contract projects for 70. And $20,000 from their contracts projects line, 042, to the contract services line in his 041. Total move $90,000.
Morning.
I have a resolution authorizing the purchase of a 2013 Ford F-350 through the Ohio Department of Administrative Services Cooperative Purchasing Program, local vendor, in lieu of bidding on behalf of the Seneca County Engineer. He's purchasing from Tiffin Ford a 2013 Ford F-350. I have a resolution appointing Bonnie Boroff to the unexpired term of Dwayne Applequist, Seneca Metropolitan Housing Authority, term expiring July 22nd, 2017. I have a resolution accepting the bid from Lake and Land Excavating LLC for the obstruction removal Newman Airport parcels at the Seneca County Airport. I have a resolution to affirm Seneca County's due diligence to provide for equal housing opportunity and affirmatively furthering, they gotta make these tongue twisters, further fair housing in Seneca County. I have a resolution authorizing Holly Stacy, current Vice President of the Board of Seneca County Commissioners, to sign the grant application agreements and amendments for the Community Development Block Grant FY13 formula. I have a resolution to address Seneca County's anti-displacement and relocation plan for all community development block grant programs at the request of regional planning. I think that's all the resolutions I have for now.
All right. We have a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the resolutions as it's just outlined.
I will second. Any questions? Okay, I think you explained everything as you went through that I was thinking of, so roll call.
Commissioner Zoller?
Yes.
Commissioner Stacy?
Yes.
Commissioner White? Yes.
The other thing I had, the murals on the side of the CSB, I brought it up under new business because this was a project we did, I want to say in 2006 or 2007. The Chamber of Commerce purchased those murals, so they're on the side of the CSB, and the county did the installation process on that. Mr. Detweiler has called, and they're discussing maybe changing those out, updating those, and asked if we could assist, if maintenance could assist putting those up. And I know they want to discuss it tomorrow at one of their meetings, and asked Dean Distel, our maintenance foreman, to attend. That way he could kind of explain the situation. One of the corners on the building, it appears, and I don't know much about the stuff outside the building, but it's got some water damage and kind of bubbling. So I've told Mr. Detweiler that we would need time, if they're looking to do this in a hurry, we would need time to get those down, assess what's underneath those murals to make sure there wasn't any more damage done. But I wanted to let you know that there may be some expenses. Them wanting to change this out, we have to address the building before putting new ones up. That would be at the cost of the county, but I talked to Mr. Detweiler about, him getting the purchase of or rental of the lift for maintenance to do that, but we would do the actual taking it down, putting it back up, so.
So do we think that damage was caused from the murals being put up before?
I don't
or
think so. I think it's
just-
water.
It's just wear and tear and natural
Yeah,
stuff that we'd have to deal with.
yep. If you
But we
look
don't
at
want
it,
it
it
to
kind of
damage
looks.
their murals, so if they're gonna reinvest and update those, we
Right.
certainly,
Yeah, and that was kind of the previous board's kind of thought process on it. You want to buy them, we'll put the mounts on the building, and Detweiler has since come in as the chamber, and he is looking to update those, which I think will be very nice.
That'd
So
be
I think
nice.
it's, only fair that we allow them to do that, and we don't mind.
no, I'd
helping them
rather
put
we
it
be the
up.
ones
Since
physically
it's our
attaching
building.
anything to our building anyway, so us providing the physical help to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
But I figured before I got too much into it, I'd let you know there may be, and maybe there's nothing wrong behind it. Maybe it's just that one corner that's kind of it's bubbling out. So it might just be that one corner, but just in case, I did want to let you
Good
guys know
idea to
that.
look at it now so it doesn't worsen.
Yeah, yep. And if they want to change it, I don't want to be behind and then wanting to hurry up and put it up and we have to do some repairs. Sure. We'll get with them tomorrow and discuss that.
Okay.
I think that's all the new business I had.
I guess then we're to comments from the public. Does anybody have anything they would like to share at this point in time?
Do you need to act on the radio thing that you did?
Thank you.
Thank you for keeping
Yep.
us in line.
Yes, what would I do without you?
You buried it over there. That's
Yes,
what
I
you
did. I put a folder on top of it. As discussed in our work session, we had Jim Yoder come in. What was the other gentleman's name?
Scott Rosenberger.
They were in. They had sent me an email yesterday talking about Governor Kasich had issued a statewide proclamation in support of the radio amateurs for June 22nd and 23rd, and requested the commissioners would pass a proclamation on that as well. Officially take action on that in this session. Just basically, the commissioners do hereby recognize June 22nd and 23rd as the Amateur Radio Operators Appreciation Days.
I will move that we pass the proclamation for the amateur radio
And
operators.
second it.
Roll call.
Commissioner Fuller,
Yes.
Commissioner Stacy,
Yes.
Commissioner White.
Okay. Thank you. Is there anything else we missed?
Keep us straight.
Sorry, it's the future thing coming out.
That's all right, that's good. All right, anything else and I don't know, if we have some folks in the back of the room, did you have something to, any?
Yes, we do.
This is
They're on
Palmer?
for 10:30.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm sorry,
10:30, you're
we're
early.
Palmer. Yes.
We
Yeah.
have 2 minutes.
Oh, it's not that early. Not that early. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking it was Palmer, but I wasn't positive. Yeah, I guess if there's nothing else, we can move to that. It's
Okay.
10:28.
Don't think we've met.
I don't think so. As I say, new faces.
Bill Bradish.
Nice to meet you, Bill.
Right.
Holly, Stacy.
Hi.
Amy Hoffman. Hi, Amy.
Bill.
You spoke on the
Nice to
phone.
meet you.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes.
Amy Hoffman.
Amy, nice to meet you.
First I looked down and I thought, well, Huron County's not to be here till noon. It's not them. And I said, skipped right past the Palmer Energy 10:30 thing.
There you go. There you go. But you have met with some other Palmer people.
Yes, we
Was
have.
it Eric or what's his name?
We've met with Kurt Mazarek and
Did you-
Earl Reed.
Earl.
And Earl's the one we've seen the most of, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And real briefly, just reiterate, Palmer is the energy consultants for the CCAO, the County Commissioners Association. What you've been dealing with Earl and those folks is on the demand side, helping with the project you have going to improve your utilization of energy. And we're on the supply side, which means we help you get better rates for your facilities, for both your electric and natural gas. Those are two programs that are part of the CCAO. Seneca County is in both of those programs right now. And simply put, we combine you or pool you with other counties, your facilities, and put them out on RFPs on a contract basis and get better rates for you. Okay, so those three programs are up and running right now. with you. There's a fourth program, and I have these nice fine books for you that explains all the programs. These are brand new to show you what they are. The fourth program is an opportunity for electric aggregation, which we have talked about in the past, but it's an opportunity for the residents of the county to pool together with other counties and get reduced electric rates. That is a program that requires a ballot issue per Ohio code. A couple years ago, we presented to usually this is done on a township by township basis and or a city or village by village basis. You can do it countywide, but especially in your county in Seneca, it does not apply to people who are in the REA. I forget who your rural electric company is.
North Central.
North Central. So it would not affect any of those people, and to put it on a countywide basis probably would not pass because of the amount of that. So we do it individually on a basis. We meet with the Township Trustees Association, we've done that. We did it a couple years ago, nobody really jumped on the bandwagon, but I'll be honest, when we were talking to them 2 years ago, we were talking about savings on their bills in the area of maybe 3%. The competitive activity has grown so much now we're talking 20%. So there's some significant savings out there now. So as a result, Stacy has helped us, and Amy and I are going to speak to the Township Trustees Association this coming Thursday. Just give them a brief presentation, let them know the opportunities out there if they'd like to participate, and we help them go through the whole ballot issue.
So they have to place it on the ballot for their constituents in their respective areas.
That's correct.
And then if the folks will choose to be part of it individually as residents, they can, they do not have to.
And they do not have to.
Okay.
That's correct.
But they can't without the township.
Without the township passing it. The ballot issue is simply to say, would you like us to help try and get you better rates? Then, if it passes, then we help pool you together with other counties that have done the same thing, come up with a program or an offer, if you will, that would be mailed to the residents saying, this is your offer and this is your term. If you'd like to participate, it's an opt-out program, so you're automatically in. Do nothing, throw it away, you're automatically in. If you choose not to be in, opt out, mark this box, send it back to us, you do not have to participate. So it's
What's the
completely-
downside risk?
There really isn't, Commissioner. I mean,
Once you lock into it,
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
you do have, it is a rate that will stay locked for the term. Most of the terms are 2 years right now.
Okay.
And they're 2-year terms. At the very beginning, you can opt out at no charge, you just send it back, and you always have the opportunity to opt out at no charge every 3 years of this program.
Okay, so the only negative side, if it was, I always try to look at,
Yeah, I get you.
whenever there's a positive, there's gotta be something, there's gotta be a
Sure.
cost, there's gotta be something.
Sure.
That's where I'm just
Yeah,
devil's
no,
advocate.
and it's a good point. So if for some reason I got in the program and 6 months later I wanted to opt out of the program, there would be a termination. It's usually in the $50 to $75 range. And I don't know what that reason would be, but
Yeah.
But
Or
you
if,
would.
well, the reason would be, this is very similar to what we've done in business,
Mm-hmm.
is we can opt into some energy rates when all of a sudden you enter into a contract and with X amount of rate per kilowatt hour.
Yes, yes.
And all of a sudden, the market changes. And then boom, you could turn around and get something at a lower rate, so
No,
that
that's,
would be.
and that's a very good point. The market could change, there could be lower rates out there. I will put you at ease a little bit to know that with the CCAO program, if there are drastic market changes, we always have in our contracts the ability to renegotiate. So we could even renegotiate within a contract period if something drastic happened to the market.
But the citizens would have the opportunity to opt out at
Absolutely.
a slight, $50, $75
Absolutely, absolutely.
penalty, and they could get out.
They can get
So
out.
if the rates changed to the point that they felt it was advantageous, but CCAO
Didn't.
gonna cost them $50,
Yeah.
they could get out, and then they could analyze the
Absolutely.
new rate. Okay, so.
No question.
So
So you're never,
the downside
you're never
risk is
stuck.
limited.
Yeah.
Does it cost them
That's-
something when they go in?
No.
Initial? So
No.
initially, if they could join, and is that gonna be like a open enrollment type of
Yes,
opportunity?
it's-
You
yeah.
come in now, there's no cost for you to get switched into this program, and,
Yeah. And even after that time, If you opted out at the beginning and 6 months later, you say, gee, my neighbors really are getting a deal, you can opt in at no cost. You can
Okay.
always
Or
opt in at no
If
cost.
they're already in a third-party commitment and when it ends, if they want to join the GovAg program, they can.
Yeah, because some people may have already shopped something
Mm-hmm.
and are in a contract.
And is this just electricity?
This is just electricity.
Okay.
Yes.
I just didn't know if it was gas or.
Yeah, no, this is just electricity.
They do have systems available for gas too,
And it
It's
is
out there.
available, and the CCO is getting ready to sponsor the same kind of aggregation for natural gas for the residents also. We don't, the program's
not there
not
yet.
quite there yet.
what you're doing is economy of scales. I mean,
Yeah.
the more people you get, the better
No.
buying, purchasing
No
power,
question.
Right.
blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah.
And how many
Someone's-
counties do we have?
We're, right now, in the aggregation for the residents, there's just over 30 counties that are participating now
Okay.
with the CCAO.
And some of them are doing it countywide, and some of them are doing it like we'll be doing it.
That is
Township and
correct. That
municipality,
is
right?
correct. I can tell you, well, there's more than these two, but just recently, in the last year or two, Allen County and Clinton County went countywide. But in both those cases, there's very, very little rural electric.
For sure.
And when, go ahead,
Yeah,
Commissioner.
what are you asking of the commissioners here?
I'm only
We're just
asking-
advising us.
We're advising you
They're gonna be out.
and soliciting for you just simply to say, if an entity in the county decides to participate and would like to do this, yes, we would support them. And what would happen, what does happen then, if somebody passes this, somebody has to become what's called the aggregator, certified aggregator with the PUCO. And through the CCAO program, that would be the county. So Palmer helps you apply to the PUCO to become an aggregator. It's paperwork that you simply sign. We submit it for you, they certify you, you hold the county paperwork.
No liability in the
No
county.
liability.
No
And
liability.
we'll do that whether it's one township does it or if several,
If several do it, yeah.
and the municipalities.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
This, I
Makes
didn't realize,
sense.
this is something that's been available to businesses for a number of years.
It has, and residents.
And we do that as well, Palmer does.
And we do that with businesses also,
Yeah.
outside of the county facilities.
Mhm.
But yeah, you're right, it's been available.
Very supportive. It's a way to save funds, and again, economy of scales.
Yes.
The more
Yes.
you have in a group, the
Mhm.
better you're gonna get as rates. And the downside risk, if it's substantially more for a business, but
Yes.
for a private individual, $50, $75 is a minor issue if you can opt out of it and find that there's
Correct.
better rates elsewhere. And
Right. Comparatively speaking, if you're in a third-party agreement right now, if you take a look at what your cancellation fee is, most of them are in the 150 to 200 range. And again, if in this aggregation, though, small businesses can participate. And they're defined as utilizing 700,000 kilowatt hours or less a year. So if the city of Tiffin were to pass it, and it would apply to the residents and small businesses that fall in that category.
can the county take advantage of that too? Can the county, because we have electric bills.
Well,
We're already in.
We're already
your
in
ours.
facilities are
Yeah.
already pooled, a separate program.
Okay, because of
Yeah.
what we're
Our
doing.
volume.
Yes, yes, you're pooled with other county facilities in that other in the electric and natural gas program. Yeah. So that's already being done for you.
Now, is there any areas that there's any limitations besides the cooperative?
No, no.
Okay, so
All the rest of everybody in the county is either being supplied by Ohio Power, AEP, or the REA, unless they have shopped third-party for their generation.
or Toledo Edison,
Yeah, first.
Yes, in Fostoria.
in
Yeah,
the very
yeah,
north
some
edge,
Toledo,
because
very
I'm
north
on the
edge.
wrong side of the tracks.
Ah.
I'm in the county, but
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
north of the
So,
tracks, and
yes,
we are on
it would-
Toledo
It would
Edison.
apply to both, Toledo Edison and
Good,
Ohio Power, yes,
okay,
yep,
yeah.
And you're gonna make a presentation at the meeting Thursday for
Yes.
the Township Trustees Association.
yes.
Correct.
And we'll also try and reach out to the city of Tiffin and the other incorporated areas. And see, just let them know the opportunity's there.
Sure.
We're not forcing it upon anybody, we're just letting them know it's there. And I will also tell you, the program that you're in for your facilities with natural gas and electricity, that program's being expanded to the townships and villages and cities also. that their facilities that they own can now jump into that program. That's not the ballot issue, that's
Right.
their facilities.
It's an option.
We'll let them know that that's available to them.
So the ballot stuff, they have to have that done and completed before
August
August 7th. Okay, 6th, 7th, I was gonna
Yes,
say, in order to make it for the,
Yeah, and what we will give them Thursday night is a presentation, and we'll give them some handouts on what this is and explain it. But we also we have a blank resolution and ballot language already done for them.
Ready to
Fill
go.
in the blanks.
did they have to do hearings, public hearings?
Yes.
For that, I
and
assume, 'cause it's a ballot
there are
issue.
2 public hearings required, but per Ohio code, they're required after the ballot passes.
Okay.
Okay, so we help handle those public hearings, Palmer Energy does. And we will tell them this Thursday night, a lot of people will have the same reaction you did.
Yeah,
And we will tell them that a lot of people elect to have information meetings prior to the ballot to explain it to the community.
sure.
We will do that also, but it doesn't count towards the 2 required. We still have
Yeah.
to do them afterwards. Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay?
Okay.
What I'm going to leave you with is the new fancy books that explain all the programs. There are some, you currently have signed agreements with the CCAO for your natural gas. There's an updated agreement in here that'll have to be signed. There's one for electric now. Put it aside, Stacy, for now. There's going to be an electronic.
Yeah.
Did
Okay.
Kirk leave you a book?
Yes, he did.
Okay, I
Okay.
couldn't
Yep.
remember.
Yep.
Okay, he
He
did.
did.
Okay.
But he said
There-
he was gonna send electronic.
Electronically,
that's
and
still
at that
coming.
time, you can address those.
Okay, okay.
Okay?
Did
Just
the
so you-
chamber, did the chamber, Amy,
Thank you.
get their group going with
Yes.
others? Did they?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We're gonna tell Jeff that there's a test and he's gonna read this. That's on tape, sorry.
And that you have the answers.
Yeah. And he missed out on the study session.
That's right.
Thank
He tested the
Thanks,
township meeting.
Great to meet
you.
you.
You certainly have my vote of support for this. It's a way
Okay.
to save money, and the downside risk is very, very limited.
Well, we will report back to you as if we get
Thursday
any reaction or proceed forward with anybody, we'll make sure we keep you informed
Okay,
of what's happening.
all right,
Thank
good,
you.
thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet
Appreciate the
you.
information and everything. We'll see you on
Commissioner
Thursday night.
Stacy and you got Stacy.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Yeah.
get this all
Yeah.
confused.
Yep, yep. We have already.
Already?
Yep.
It's happened already.
I see you again. See you on Thursday.
Thank you.
And is there anything else anybody else to bring forward? And if not, I guess we will recess because we have 2 joint ditch resolutions to handle, one at noon with Huron County and one at 1:30 with Crawford County. And then next Tuesday, we are having just the Heidelberg Bond public hearing in this time slot at 10 a.m. in our regular time slot, but the rest of our commissioner business is at the end of the quarter evening traveling meeting, and we're in Attica at 20 South Main Street at 7:30 p.m. that evening for the regular board session next week. And then next week, we also have Thursday because it's the end of the month, and we always have a Thursday 10 a.m. session. So that's the schedule. All right. Nothing. We're in recess.
Okay.
We have recess.